Oi! Oi, all right. Even though I don't make it my thing to redraw the cover of absolutely every album I review anymore, I still have the habit of quickly measuring an album artwork's success by its subject or the relative action that it displays. And in the case of Blur's Ballad of Darren, the Britpop group's first in like 8 years, I couldn't help but be initially disappointed by the choice of a seemingly generic abstract landscape photograph. The more you look at it though, the more it does reveal itself to be quite poetic. The bright, chlorinated, supposedly safe pool water of the outdoor Scottish Lido against a brewing tempest in the sky and sea just on the horizon is a neat juxtaposition, even if the severely contrasting colours don't add up to an image you'd necessarily want to hang on your wall. The deck chairs arranged almost like piano keys is a nice touch I picked up on too, but despite successfully evoking such an interpretation, that neat juxtaposition, it's not a theme that actually gets much representation in the songs held under the sleeve that the photograph adorns, although the music is suitably gloomy. Like straight from the outset even, the ballad's opening lines are literally, I just looked into my life and all I saw was that you're not coming back. I made a point of calling out the juxtaposition on the cover because I think juxtaposition is one of the most unique and thrilling traits of band frontman Damon Albarn's songwriting across all of his many projects. He has a unique gift to be able to write a song where the melancholy creates a catharsis so strong that it becomes uplifting. Whether it's End of a Century from Parklife or Melancholy Hill on Gorillaz' Plastic Beach or even Thought I Was a Spaceman from Blur's last comeback, The Magic Whip. It's a fascinating trick he seems capable of endlessly repeating. That is until we get to Darren. I've been racking my brains endlessly as to why the Ballad of Darren hasn't connected in quite the same way as other entries in the Blur discography, when so many of the musical components I love are actually present. Graham Coxon's guitar is as electrifying as ever. Whether gentle or ragged, he has a gift to know exactly what an arrangement needs at any given moment. The slightly Tranquility bass or the Car era Arctic Monkeys of Russian strings is a perfect example of what makes Coxon's guitar playing so endlessly endearing. His instrument on this track has a beautiful tone. It's forever moving and changing, but never overplayed and always loyal to the song. Alex James on Barbaric delivers another fantastic entry into his canon of dynamic bass lines, playing off both the delayed guitars and the vocal melody, all while perfectly weaving in and around Dave Roundtree's central drum beat. By all accounts, this has the makings of a fantastic Blur record, but that juxtaposition, that catharsis of being uplifting through melancholy that I've always been so drawn to, and in fact Blur's Greatest Hits was the first album I ever bought with my own money back in the day, that's the thing I'm drawn to. It's missing. Instead, the Ballad of Darren is straight up just sad at points, and of course there's always a place for sadness, but songs like The Everglades, with its unremarkable progression and complete lack of the buoyancy of Albarn's typical optimism, truly feels like wallowing. Tracks like this and Faraway Island pull down what could be otherwise an interesting study in sadness and make for a listen that sometimes drags, even though the record is just a light 30 minutes. While I don't fully succumb to every song here, there are parts I absolutely love. The Narcissist is an unlikely earworm after a few listens, and both St. Charles Square and Avalon share a unique tone with an unlikely resemblance to David Bowie's Scary Monsters era. The similarity mainly reveals itself when Coxon's stumbling guitar is at its most drunken and Albarn's howling the most unhinged, but it's an absolute highlight and a curious influence I'd be keen to hear the band tap into again. Overall, for me, this record's about a 6 at the moment. It definitely has the potential to increase ranking over time, but sad or not, now it's just missing a spark of that Blur magic.